Page 12, Shake Me a Rattle, or Squeeze Me a I Cry, what? Squeeze me, there ain't be no squeezing going on here. Just hold on here. 3/4 time, 2 sharps, so it's in D major or B minor. Let's look at the end. Here, the last 2 measures in the left hand is a D chord, so I'm guessing this is D major. Got a pickup beat. Let's do the right hand. At the beginning, I suggest that their fingering, I think, is a little complicated. I don't understand this. I would suggest you do this. Start, second finger is fine, but just stay in this position. So it's 2, 3, 4, and then a 5. Now for the A after the next measure, bring the thumb under. Now I changed positions one time. Here, and their phrasing, I totally disagree with the phrasing in this piece, in this arrangement. I would suggest you follow the words in the sentences and phrase it according to the words. In other words, if you look at the words here at the beginning, it's one sentence. It's all the way to the end of the line where square is. That's the end of a phrase. So I would not break it there. I'd connect all of that in one phrase. So it's here at the beginning. Now lift up. The second line, going into the third measure, again, I would not split a phrase here. I would keep it all connected. And I would play that with second finger on that A. And then cross over here. Now you're in position to go on. Now it's a phrase. Third line, no phrase. Now, and here there's no phrase either. So again, I would not split it here. It's second finger and then third finger. And then the fingering at the bottom of page 12, you're here, they're saying 2. That's okay if your fingers are small enough, but if you've got big fingers, this doesn't work. So cross over to second finger, and then do the, and then thumb. That, we're just not putting the thumb on the black key. And there's no phrase break there either. Connect all of that. The last line on that page, connect the whole line. And then you can break for the chorus, so the refrain part. If you want to follow the phrasing, this here is fine because there's commas in words. At the end of the first line here, I prefer a 2-3 rather than, I don't like doing 1 2 1 2 1 2. That's all. See, I'm not following the phrasing. I keep repeating myself here. It annoys me. I don't like short phrases anyway, because they're just like maybe 2 measure slurs is all they are. They're not phrasing, and I don't like all that choppiness. I prefer it be connected. Pedal's going to connect it anyway, but you still feel it with the hands. So I would connect this on page 13, second line. I'd connect that whole line. Thumb on the B, and then cross over. So I can connect it. Now, if you're going to split it, then you don't have to cross over, because you can lift up and move. But I prefer to cross over. Then lift up, it's a new phrase. The last line on page 17 is all one phrase. I wouldn't split any of that. I think it's unmusical to split that. So here. No, that. Bleh. The left hand, keep it soft. It's just accompaniment. Broken chords mostly. 1 chord and 4 chord. Then the 5/7 chord. Go down to the bottom. Last line, you're up here. Half note and then red. rest. Make sure you get in all these rests, but they stuck in a half note for some reason. Rest, that gives you time to move down. And here in the last line, or the last measure, page 17 or page 12, I don't know where I'm at, 12, okay. You hear, lift up for the eighth notes. And then connect it. Don't split here to here. You're slurring these together, but connect them to the first note in page 13. If you don't want to thumb on that, go second finger. There's no phrasing here or nothing. It's all legato in the left hand. Till you get to here, the last measure, the second line, then lift up before you do the eighth notes. But then connect them to the next measure. Third finger there. Work it out one hand at a time and get this fingering the way you want it, and then try putting them together. Work it all out very slowly. I don't want to have to play the whole thing. I mean, you get to page 13, you hear. So this is a fairly slow piece anyway. It's not a fast piece. It's a very gentle, slow waltz. Here. So you get the mood of the piece. And then we can add pedal to help smooth this out a little bit, but we don't want to blur it. They're keeping the pedal simple, pretty much legato pedal except for the rests in the left hand. I'd like to examine this pedaling a little bit. At the beginning, of course, we don't pedal the pickup beat here. And this is legato pedal, so the hands do it first and then the pedal lags behind the hands. Lift the pedal up for the eighth notes, but remember it's legato when you're not lifting up here. It's legato, but lift the pedal up here. Now here you lift the pedal up with the right hand, so we get silence before we go on. And connect it. Lift it up with the right hand, so we get silence. Last line on page 12 here. I'm not pedaling the last beat here. You got to keep the left hand down, it's a half note, but I don't want to smear these eighth notes. And I don't pedal any of this. Now, legato pedal. And on the second measure here, I don't pedal the first beat. I don't want to smear that. So again. And at the end of the line, I can lift it up. It's the end of a phrase. And then the second line, third measure, I don't pedal the third beat. And I don't pedal the next measure at all. I don't need it. line down last measure. Lift it up when you play the G sharp right after it. Here, it's a new phrase. Now in the last line, they're not showing pedal. I disagree because we have repeated notes. I want to connect them. So I'm going to pedal the first two beats. And then lift it up on the third beat. And then next to the last measure, I don't pedal the eighth notes. Like so. That's my suggestions on the pedal. I went through it kind of quickly, but you can watch it more than once. So I'm trying not to pedal the eighth notes if I don't have to. I am pedaling some of them because they go by so quick I don't mind it. Like at the beginning here. You could get away with not pedaling the third beat in that first full measure here. After you play that in the left hand, the last beat, you can lift up. We want to connect it. We want to connect that. See, it's typical with a waltz pedaling, and I tend to do this out of habit. I either only pedal the first beat, so it's 1, 2, 3, reinforces that natural accent, or I'll pedal the first two beats and leave the last beat out. And in this piece, a lot of this, I'm only pedaling the first two beats. Now when I get to the top of page 13, I got repeated notes I want to connect, so I'm kind of pedaling the whole measure. Type thing. You'll have to decide on how you want to pedal it based on the sound you're getting. It's your judgment ultimately. I'm just suggesting. Now there is a repeat sign at the end of this because there's other verses at the bottom. I'm going to do the play with me. I'm only going to repeat it one time. So I'm going to play it through twice. I'm going to do it slowly. If you'd like to play along, go ahead. At least one-handed, maybe the right hand or something, just to double check that you have the right notes and rhythms on this. So since there's a pickup beat, I'm going to give us 2 counts and I'm going to start. And you can play along if you like. Ready and go, and. Repeat.